Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing a vlog of my very short weekend trip to New York City to attend both the Kodansha House Pop-up event and New York Comic Con. I have returned to NYC after visiting the city for the very first time back in August for Anime NYC, so it wasn't in my cards to travel to New York not once but twice in the same year in such a short span of time. But I could not pass up the opportunity to go back to NYC this time around because I knew what I was traveling for could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Also, I was extremely lucky with how things panned out on this trip as I was able to get the best possible outcome on this rather last-minute and unpredictable trip. Along with this short vlog, the second part of this video will be my haul, so I'm excited to show you guys my experience and of course go through all of the items that I got. I arrived at the Kodansha House Pop-up around 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. Now, to give you guys some context to why I arrived so early at the event when it technically opens at noon, was that every weekend at the Kodansha House Pop-up event, they would have creator autograph sessions. And for the second week of the pop-up event, they brought in Fujita Sensei, the creator of Watakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, for autograph sessions on both Saturday and Sunday. And as I was already attending New York Comic Con on Sunday, my option was to hopefully get into the Fujita signing on Saturday. And some more detail was that I actually did not win the Fujita autograph lottery that Kodansha House held before the pop-up event happened. So my only other option was the standby process, where basically if lottery winners did not show up for the signing session, there would be a standby line on the day of the signing, and it's a first come, first served situation. And so whoever did not show up for the autograph session, then we would be able to take place of those open spots. And because I arrived so early in the morning, I was fourth in line and was lucky and got into the autograph session for Saturday. I'll talk more about my autograph experience in the autograph haul portion of this video. I did spend a significant amount of time at the Kodansha House Pop-up event. This was the second year that the Kodansha House Pop-up event happened, and from what I've heard, this year's location was much bigger compared to last year. And after experiencing this pop-up, I'm glad it was at a much bigger space because it was extremely packed and busy for Saturday. In terms of layout of the pop-up, there are basically two levels. The first level contains the Kinokuniya store where you can buy merch, a manga reading space where you can have access to the Kodansha library of books, a cafe where you can buy custom drinks and food, interactive photo ops for Blue Lock and Attack on Titan, and the visual video simulation for Ghost in the Shell. And then there was these huge displays of series that Kodansha serializes, including ones that were promoted at the event, which was A Sign of Affection, Watakoi, and Fire Force. They had like a whole bunch of manga panels and colored illustration, and then the creators that visited the event, like Shita and Fujita Sensei, also signed these walls as well. The second floor or downstairs space had the gaming area and casual lounge. It also had the private room where special events happened, including the autograph session that I went to, also premiered movie screenings, games, and activities that occurred for each of the specific nights. Overall, the Kodansha House Pop-up event was extremely cool. I think they did an incredible job curating the overall space, layout, and activities that were offered to fans that visited the event. I had an enjoyable time experiencing the pop-up event for the very first time, and I really hope that Kodansha brings back Kodansha House Pop-up event next year because I would love to go back again. Now onto my Sunday, and unfortunately I did not capture much of my New York Comic Con experience as I had hoped for, mainly because I had to carry my duffel bag with me all day long as I was flying out back to Seattle later that evening, and the items that I had bought were much heavier than expected, and so I was very tired out early on during the con. But what I can tell you is that my agenda consists of a lot of shopping. I had a list of exhibitors and artists that I wanted to stop by, and I was successful at checking off my whole entire list, and I felt very accomplished at the end of the day. I also stopped by a couple of larger exhibitors to participate in autograph sessions, and one in particular I was extremely lucky by chance to be able to get an autograph from, and I'll talk more about that later during the video. But this weekend was so great. A lot of the cons I've been to, like New York Comic Con, was packed with people and busy all throughout the day. But I also enjoyed seeing new things that I usually don't see at regular anime conventions. For my time at New York Comic Con, it was short and quick, but also very memorable. And if I had the opportunity to do so in the future, I would love to attend the actual full weekend of New York Comic Con someday. To start off this haul, I'm going to show you guys the autographs that I got from both Kodansha House and New York Comic Con, and these autographs are the main highlights of my trip because I went back to New York City just to be able to get these autographs and meet my favorite creator as well as one of my favorite voice actress. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to meet both of them, as well as being able to share with you guys the autographs and my experience meeting both of these very special guests. So the first autograph I'm going to share with you guys is one that I got from the Kodansha House Pop-up event, and I attended the second weekend of the pop-up event where they invited Fujita Sensei, the creator of Watakoi Love is Hard for Otaku. And again, I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity, as well as very lucky to get an autograph and meet Fujita Sensei, because I didn't win the initial autograph lottery. I got the autograph thanks to the standby process where the winners of the autograph lottery, if they didn't show up, then first come first serve standbys can get an opportunity to meet Fujita Sensei and get the autograph. And that's the process that I did. So very impulsive of me because it wasn't guaranteed, but I waited it out and was able to get the autograph. So it was totally worth it for me to be able to meet one of my favorite creators of my favorite series of all time. So the first item that Fujita Sensei signed was actually a printed Shikishi board that was provided by Kodansha House, and the illustration is based on the promotional illustration for the Kodansha House Pop-up event that Fujita Sensei drew. So here we have is Hukaka and Narumi, and they're so cute. And then we have this signature from Fujita Sensei here as well. But yeah, so this is the first item that she signed, and then she also signed an official merchandise of the series as well, so you get 2 items signed. However, the most unexpected and exciting thing that Fujita Sensei did was she was also taking character sketch requests where you can ask her to draw your favorite character of Watakoi, which is so insane because no one had expected her to draw anything. We thought the autograph session would be very quick, where she would sign the Shikishi board as well as the official merchandise and then be on our way. And because she was taking character requests and doing sketches, the event went from 2 p.m. all the way to like past 5-ish. So she was signing and drawing for over 3 hours. She did take like a couple breaks here and there, but so grateful and appreciative that she took her time to even do that. It was so crazy. Everyone was so shocked and surprised, but all of us were really happy for that opportunity. And so the second item that I had Fujita Sensei sign was the official Watakoi illustration book. I have the Japanese edition because I had bought it before Kodansha had announced that they were doing an English version of the illustration book. And I think the only main difference outside of the English translation was that the English version also has like a fold-out poster of the LA illustration that Fujita Sensei did for Anime Expo 2022. However, I already have an acrylic display of that illustration because I was able to get it at the Kinokuniya booth in 2022. It was super competitive, but I was able to get it, and so I was okay with not getting the English edition right away, but I definitely am very tempted to get it. Anyways, so yeah, this is the illustration book, and then Fujita Sensei signed as well as drew my character requests. So I was so indecisive on like which character I wanted to get drawn because I just love all the characters from Watakoi. So I couldn't choose, but I ultimately got Hirataka. Oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot believe I got a sketch from Fujita Sensei. It was so like unexpected, so surreal, and I love it so much. I just cannot believe it. The majority of the conversation was me just gushing over about the series and how it relates to me and how much I enjoyed it and how much I reread the series over and over again. And then because we had asked a character to get sketched, she asked me like why Hirataka was my favorite character, and I just talked about like how cool he was from the series. He's definitely the one I felt like caught my eye when I first got into Watakoi, but also like reading into Hirataka's backstory and just seeing how the situation of his relationship developed with Narumi just really moved me. And then I also talked about like my travel from like going from Seattle to New York to be able to meet her for the autograph session, and she thought it was really funny because she was like, oh, like you definitely took a big risk to come here and meet me even though it wasn't guaranteed. And I was like, I would do anything just to try to meet Fujita Sensei. And I told her she's like one of my favorite artists and that I'm very happy to be able to meet creators of my favorite work. And she was just so grateful that I made the trek all the way to be able to meet her for this autograph session. And then the last part of our conversation talked about more of her future works and what she's doing right now. So currently her series that she's working on is called Villain, which is a little bit different from Watakoi. And I did ask her like if she would ever go back to writing series more similar to Watakoi, and she said most unlikely. She's really enjoying working on Villain, but she also wants to focus more on different genres and types of stories. So that's kind of the main gist of our conversation. And in terms of like talking to Fujita Sensei, overall, she oozes Hanako vibes. Like she was so cool and chill, and I was just like fangirling so hard. So yeah, that was my autograph signing experience and meeting Fujita Sensei for the very first time. And again, very grateful for the opportunity. Fujita Sensei is just so cool, and very thankful for Kodansha House for giving us fans the opportunity to meet our favorite creators like Fujita Sensei. So yeah, you guys, I cannot believe it. These are my holy grail prized possessions. Like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that is the first autograph that I got. And the second and final autograph that I got was at New York Comic Con. A couple weeks before the convention happened, Bandai Namco had announced that they were bringing Megumi Han to NYCC to help promote their newest series, which was Digimon Beat Break, which is a series that's actually airing this anime season. She actually voices the character Gekomon in Digimon Beat Break, and so as she had a panel session on Sunday that was scheduled, I was very excited because I was also attending NYCC on Sunday, so I thought that I would be having the opportunity to stop by the panel and just check out the panel and also see one of my favorite voice actors because she voices one of my favorite characters of all time, which is Arima Kana from Oshinoko. And if you guys have watched my channel, you know how much I love Kana. I love her dearly. I actually met Megumi Han last year at Anime Revolution because they had brought all of the B Komachi voice actress to promote Oshinoko Season 2. They had a couple of panel sessions as well as they had autograph sessions. So I was able to stop by at the panels as well as get an autograph from Megumi Han. A couple of days prior to the convention, Bandai Namco also announced autograph sessions with Megumi Han. She was going to have 2 autograph sessions, and to get into the autograph, it was via lottery. And so I was like, oh no, like I don't think I'm gonna get it because my autograph lottery luck is like down bad. And also like I wasn't sure if I could even enter. However, in their email, they said that badge holders for 4 days as well as Sunday badge holders can enter the lottery. Since I had the Sunday badge, I was like, oh yes, I'm gonna be able to enter the lottery. So on Sunday morning, I went early to line up and then book it to the Bandai Namco booth. However, they announced that they were not going to be opening any more spots for the lottery and it's all full. So basically, I thought I was done for. I could not meet Megumi Han at the autograph session, but that's okay. I was like, I'll just see her at the panel or something. While I was like exiting the booth, Megumi Han was entering the booth to do the autograph session there, and I crossed paths with her and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I saw her. And then there was a lot of spectators that was watching her starting to do her signing, and so I just kind of waited around. But they had a line of the people that won the lotteries by the side of the booth, and I saw someone with a tablet, so I was like, why don't I just ask and see if I can enter via standby or if there's like any extra spots for people that maybe didn't show up, because the signing session was at 10:30 in the morning and sometimes like people don't want to wake up early to go to a signing or something has happened, and so like they're not gonna show up. And so like I went to the guy with a tablet and I was like, oh, like do you have any more spots for the Megumi Han signing session that's happening right now? And he was like, let me check. And he's like, yeah, there are some no-shows, so you can probably get a signing. And so I was led to the end of the line, and then I actually got an autograph from Megumi Han. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was a turn of events. Like literally my weekend and my autograph luck could not get any better, because I literally thought I wasn't gonna get an autograph from Megumi Han. And it's okay too, because as I mentioned, I've already gotten an autograph from her, but it's always, you know, a fun opportunity to meet your favorite seiyus again. And so, oh my gosh, you guys. So Bandai Namco had provided these printed, I think like A5 size prints of the Digimon Beat Break promotional poster, and Megumi Han was signing this. And so I was able to talk to her very briefly. I actually like had to show my phone so she can write my name in katakana, and on my phone I have a kana strap. And so she was like, oh my gosh, you're a fan of kana. And I was like, I love kana so much. I actually saw you in Vancouver last year, and also met you at an autograph session and I was able to attend your panels. And she was so shocked. She was like, oh my gosh, like you love kana that much? And I was like, yes. And so it was just a really fun interaction. I told her that I'm looking forward to checking her out for this new series that she's voicing, as well as the Oshinoko Season 3, and she's just absolutely sweet. Oh my gosh, I'm still gushing at the interaction. And funny enough, Bandai Namco, or I think Toei actually, had taken pictures of like the autograph lottery winners during the signing session, and they filmed a video of my interaction with Megumi Han. So you can probably maybe find it if you try really hard enough. But yeah, oh my gosh, I cannot believe the luck I had this weekend of like getting autographs for my favorite seiyu as well as my favorite mangaka. And I didn't even win any of the lottery sessions because I just have the worst luck when it comes to lotteries, but I guess I have okay luck when it comes to standby. So I just cannot believe it. But anyways, that is my autograph experience for both meeting Fujita Sensei and Megumi Han. I'm extremely grateful. Thank you, Kodansha House. Thank you, Bandai Namco, for having these opportunities for fans to meet their favorite creators as well as favorite seiyus. I feel like the luckiest girl that weekend, and I still feel like the luckiest girl. But yeah, it was just a very memorable moment, highlight of my NYC weekend. But yeah, those are all the autographs that I got, and I hope you guys enjoy my very long-winded yapping sessions. One of the first booths that I knew I had to stop by was Inklore because I had a list of books I was trying to purchase at the booth along with some freebies that I was trying to redeem, and this Inklore book haul standalone became one of my bigger book hauls that I actually got this year. But no regrets, or I guess one small regret was stopping by the booth a little bit too early on during the con because the weight of these manhwa volumes are so heavy and my shoulders were aching at the end of the con. But I'm excited to show you guys all of the titles and volumes that I picked up from the Inklore booth. The first series that I picked up, as well as a new series I'm adding to my collection, is Father, I Don't Want This Marriage manhwa. I got volumes 1 and 2. I read the series some time ago on Happy Tunes when it was serializing at that time. However, the series is completed. I made significant progress in the story. However, I dropped off around the middle of season 3. I think it became kind of a little bit slow paced, and so because I'm reading a whole bunch of different series, sometimes I forget to go back to a story and then I get so behind that I just stop reading it altogether. However, I bought the first 2 volumes in print for a particular reason, and that is to reread the story once again and this time finish this series. And I have mentioned that this is a manhwa adaptation because this series is actually based on a novel, and I actually read the novel some time ago. It was originally translated by this website or a group of people called Word Absurd, and they actually printed the first couple volumes for the series and then stopped, and then now Happy Tunes actually has the digital translation for the series as well. But to give you guys a brief context to the story, it follows our main protagonist, Jubilee, and in her first life, she's deemed like this villainous and disliked by everyone, including her lover and her father due to various misunderstandings. And then she ends up being in a situation that she's going to be killed. However, this is a regression series, so just at her death's door, she gets a second chance to change her life, and so she goes back in the past, and with this opportunity, she breaks up with her lover, tries to rekindle her relationship with her father, and is determined to avoid meeting her doom from her previous life. Along with that, she enters a dating contract with one of her father's students in order to not be married off with a prince that has a bad reputation. So there's a lot of twists and turns that occurs in the series and a handful of misunderstandings, but the series is pretty common trope among a lot of other villainous regression type series, but trust me, it's a very enjoyable one, and the art is impeccable. The character designs are just so attractive, and I really feel like this series is an eye candy for a lot of people. But anyways, I will share you guys my progress as I get back into the story again, and most likely once I get through the first 2 volumes, I will pivot back to reading the digital chapters on Happy Tunes. So if you guys are curious to check out the series but don't want to commit buying the print volumes just yet, the whole entire story, both the novel and manhwa, which are both completed, you can read digitally on Happy Tunes. So I'm excited to have the first 2 volumes in print for Father, I Don't Want This Marriage. And because I bought the first 2 volumes directly from the Inklore booth, they came with an added on bonus, which are these 2 postcards, one for each volume, and they are just so beautifully illustrated. I love a good added on bonus. So this was a must for me, and I'm so glad to finally have the first 2 volumes of Father, I Don't Want This Marriage. There are a couple of volumes that I still need to collect physically because they are already out. I'm just a little bit behind with my collecting on the series, but I know eventually I will get them very soon. The next series I have here is a very, 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 very exciting pickup that I have been anticipating for quite some time, and it is The Broken Ring, This Marriage Will Fail Anyway, Manhwa Volume 1 in English. So if you guys have watched any of my previous videos on my channel, specifically my Korean manhwa hauls, then you would know that I'm a huge fan of the series because I currently collect the Korean print for this series, and I have also collected various merchandise for this series the last couple of years. So when I heard that Inklore was physically printing the manhwa for The Broken Ring, I was just absolutely ecstatic because I obviously would love to collect the series in my actual language that I know, but I still will be collecting the Korean print for the series because both of the versions are just a little bit different. And what I mean by that is that the first 3 volumes of my Korean print were limited edition, so they came with the volume as well as a whole bunch of merchandise, and then the covers I believe are going to differ because I've compared the first volume cover for English as well as the Korean, and they are slightly different. And so yes, I am collecting both languages for The Broken Ring, but they do slightly differ, and as a hardcore collector and huge fan of the series, it is totally worth it because it's one of my favorite series. But yeah, I had to stop by the Inklore booth to get the early release of this copy for New York Comic Con as it came out a couple weeks before the official release in stores. And then when you purchase the volume at the Inklore booth, you also get the transparent photo card freebies of Carcel and Inez, and I actually don't have these just yet at that time, and so I was very glad to have it. But recently there was a webcomic event that happened, and I had my friend attend that event because they were selling brand new Broken Ring merch, and so the freebies that was passed out at the event was also the transparent photo cards, which I actually got another set of, including some more illustrations. And so it is what it is. I'm glad to have more Broken Ring merch, even if it are duplicates on my end. But anyways, very glad to have the physical English print for The Broken Ring, and I can't wait to collect the continuing volumes for this series. I also got a couple of sample prints for Inklore's upcoming releases. So the first one I have is The Knight and Her Emperor, which is set to be released next year, February 2026. So a little bit of time before the series hits the store, but I'm very happy to have the sample copy of the first volume. As you guys can see when I'm flipping through the volume, the first couple pages is in color, however the rest of the series is in black and white. I'll talk more about the story when I do get the first volume. However, if you guys do want to check out the series early before the physical print release, then it is available on Tappytoon as the manhwa is already completed digitally, so this can help you decide if you want to invest collecting the physical prints when it comes out. And the second sample print that I got is called The Makeup Remover, which is actually a series that I read on the Webtoons app many years ago and really enjoyed it. And not to shade on another story, but I really like the execution of the makeup aspect of the series much more than a particular popular series. But yeah, the Makeup Remover I felt was very underrated, and I'm so glad that it's getting a physical print now. And I'll talk more about my thoughts on the series when I get the first volume as well. However, As I mentioned, I read this on Webtoons and this series is already completed, so you can read the whole entire series digitally on the Webtoons app. The first volume is set to be released next year as well in March 2026, so I'm looking forward to collecting both of these series in print, and I can't wait to share more with you guys on my thoughts on both series as I start collecting them physically in the future. I was able to get a couple of freebies at the Inklore booth, including this stunning bookmark, which I got from pre-ordering the first volume of Heaven's Official Blessing manhwa adaptation. And this bookmark is just so beautiful. I love the silver tassel, and the illustration front and back are just so beautiful. So the first volume is set to be released this December, and I can't wait to get it because the physical print looks so good, you guys. And the second freebie that I got is this written photo card here, and I got this by pre-ordering the volume 2 of the Under the Oak Tree novel edition. So I'm so excited to get the second volume. It looks so stunning with the printed edges, and the cover is just so beautiful. But yeah, that is everything that I picked up from the Inklore booth. I am so happy with all the items that I got, from the books to the freebies, and Inklore is just doing a great job licensing so many titles that I am a huge fan of, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for the upcoming year. I'm not sure why I didn't put this in the autograph haul portion of this video, but regardless, the next items I'm going to show you guys are free autographs that I got from the Webtoons booth. So every day during New York Comic Con, Webtoons had a couple of free autograph sessions for fans to meet their favorite creators that publish their works on Webtoons. And for Sunday specifically, we had Tanya, the creator of Starcatcher, and Tony Renea, the creator of Osora, who participated in the dual signing. I apologize if I missaid their name. And I have to be honest too, prior to the signing, I was not as familiar with Starcatcher and had only read a handful of chapters for Osora, but as the autograph opportunity was fairly relaxed, I was very grateful for the opportunity to meet the two creators who were extremely nice. I actually liked the provided signed items that Webtoon gave to us to get the autograph on because it had the illustration of the series in the front, but the cutout shape is based on the Webtoons logo. It's definitely not an easy autograph to preserve or store like a regular Shikishi, but still very cool to have. Along with the autograph card, I did ask Tony Renea if she could draw a little doodle of Osora, and I was honestly surprised that she accepted my doodle request, and so I did have a small Shikishi board that she doodled Osora on. But again, really happy for the opportunity to meet these wonderful creators through Webtoons, and I'm looking forward to checking out and catching up on both series this upcoming holidays. Speaking about another creator that posts their stories on Webtoons, I actually stopped by Courtney Rithit's booth to catch up, and also in hopes to make a purchase of a lovely Shikishi board drawing. She actually posted the Shikishi board drawing a couple days before New York Comic Con, and I thought I wouldn't have been able to purchase it because I was attending the last day of the con, but it ended up still being there, and of course I knew I had to buy it then. So this Shikishi board size in particular is very unique and one I haven't seen before, but I like how Courtney laid out the illustration, and as I don't have a drawing from her where she incorporates the 4 main cast members as well as the 2 cats in the story, I just thought this was a very beautiful illustration and most definitely will cherish it. I actually recently talked about the series on my Anime NYC video where I saw Courtney for the first time. She's the creator of a series called Honey Lemon, which you can read on the Webtoons app, and it's a fun, romantic, slice of life with drama series, and I am thoroughly invested in the story as well as the 4 main casts in the series. I also got some bonus stickers from Courtney. I love the pink theme that she had made for the sticker set. We have Komi and Jay in these like cowboy outfits, and then Sora and June wearing these more like roller derby outfits. It's just absolutely cute. And then I also got a chibi head sticker of Jay. So thank you, Courtney, for this lovely illustration of Honey Lemon and the bonus stickers. I love them so much. Continue on with the theme of this haul, I made a visit to another Webtoon creator's booth. The artist is Jui Art, and her story is called Takeoff, which is a BL series. I got into the series thanks to a mutual friend of mine. KK Chan is a girl who you guys may be familiar with as she's pretty active on YouTube and Instagram, but she had mentioned about this series on her IG story, and then I got very curious about it and ended up checking out the story and catching up to the latest update in about 2 days. To preface, the chapters in the series are a little bit on the shorter side, so it just made it easier to binge read the series and catching up. I somewhat regret it though, because I enjoyed this series so much and was very invested in the main characters' dynamic. The humor of the story is also very top-notch. To give you guys a synopsis of the first part of the story, it's basically about these two men, Nathan and Andrew, who both take a 16-hour flight from Hong Kong to New York. And in the story, they actually call New York New Dork, which is very funny. But originally, both of them are sitting in separate aisles back to back. And then Nathan ends up moving to the same aisle as Andrew because he had an empty row by himself. And it's like kind of like an awkward beginning for the both of them. Some misunderstanding, a series of unfortunate things happen. However, somehow brings the two men much closer together by the end of the 16-hour flight. So that is the first part of the story, and much more has happened since the end of the flight. But now that I am up to date with the latest chapter, I'm finally part of the waiting for the next update crowd, which is all good, and I'm so excited for the future chapters that Jui Art will post. But anyways, I was able to stop by her booth at New York Comic Con, and I believe this is the first time she has vended at an American convention, which is so cool. And to be able to meet her in New York or New Dork is also very special because this is the place where the characters ended up. And I was just so happy to talk to her and share how much I enjoyed the story. But I was able to pick up the first 2 volumes of Takeoff. She actually did a campaign and physically printed the books. They're basically the chapters from the webtoons and now compiled into a physical print. She even drew me a special doodle of the chibi versions of Nathan and Andrew. I asked her for a request and she happily accepted, which I am extremely grateful for. I got the acrylic standee of Nathan and Andrew, and I believe these are the New York Comic Con convention exclusive. And then I also got a postcard set of the 2 main characters and then a bunch of postcard illustration, and she was just so nice and signed everything from the postcards to my books as well. But yeah, I am so glad to have met Jui Art for the very first time and talked about how much I enjoy Takeoff and how much I really love the main characters, Andrew and Nathan. They are just so adorable and funny, and I love their relationship dynamic so much. And I am so excited to continue reading Takeoff, and I can't wait for the next chapters to come out. Funny enough, I did pick up one Love and Deep Space related item, and this is the poster that I got of Caleb. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you would know that he is my favorite love interest in the game. So for some context, I actually saw this poster at Anime NYC a couple months ago. But at that time, I didn't have a poster tube, so I was scared that I would just damage it on my way back home to Seattle. So I asked the artist if she was attending any other convention or doing like mailing orders, and she did mention that she was going to NYCC. At that time, I wasn't like 100% sure if I was locked in for NYCC, but then I decided to go, and so I stopped by her booth so I can buy the poster, and I also brought my poster tube along this time with me so I can safely bring him home. So this poster is now here in my hands. I'm so happy to have it, and I love this illustration of Caleb so much. I just love Pilot Caleb a lot. It's just one of the things he does that makes me so attracted to him, and I really love the style of this illustration because the POV is of like you are the photographer taking a picture of Caleb, and so I just love the little details on the border here that shows that it's like a photo being taken. And then obviously we have Pilot Caleb, and then I also really just love all the details of the aircraft. We even have the little apple being hung up here, of the plane details, and then him holding the flowers. It's just so pretty. So I'm very happy to finally get this illustration in poster form from this artist. I can't pronounce her name, so I'm just gonna leave her artist name on the screen, as well as a link to her social in the description box below. But yeah, I'm so happy to have this beautiful poster of Caleb, and always have at least one Love and Deep Space item in my con haul for sure. What is a convention haul without its freebies? So I'm going to show you guys all of the freebies that I got attending the very last day of New York Comic Con. And I feel like booths tend to be more generous on the last day of a convention because they're trying to get rid of all of their freebie stock. So yeah, I have a lot of exciting items to share with you guys. The first set of freebies I'm going to show you guys are ones I would normally not pick up as a freebie because, if I'm going to be honest, I really don't know what to do with them, but it was just so darn cute, and it is a favorite franchise of mine, so I couldn't pass it up. It is these very adorable My Melody and Kuromi headbands. I actually got these from the Netflix booth because they had this like huge setup to promote the new series that's on Netflix, the My Melody and Kurumi series, which I only have watched the first episode, but I will spend some time maybe like this holiday break to finish watching the episodes that are already out. But like I mentioned, I love Sanrio a lot. My Melody is my favorite character, and so I just knew I had to get hers, and obviously Kuromi is there too, so I had to pick up both. And I love how they have New York Comic Con on their head thing, so yeah, it's so cute. So yeah, I don't really know what to do with them. I'm not sure if I'm gonna display them. I just had to grab it because it's so cute. But yeah, that is what I got from the Netflix booth. And of course, I did make a short visit to the Yen Press / Ice Press booth. I feel like it's a very normal con routine of mine to just stop by and see like their booth and all of the items that they're displaying, as well as talk to some of their staff. But usually before the convention, Ice Press and Yen Press post like a catalog of all the freebies that they're distributing, as well as like a schedule of all the activities and games that they're doing throughout the convention. But usually on the last day as well, whatever freebies they have left, they kind of just lay it out on the table, and it's kind of like a free-for-all, grab whatever you want. So that is what I did. So the freebies that I got includes this really cute small print from Semantic Error, and I love how there's like 4 different smaller illustrations of the series in this like mini size print, which I thought was really cute. And then I picked up this postcard of Beatrice here. It's a new series that has been officially licensed and in print from Ice Press. And I actually read the series some time ago digitally, but I didn't get far along with it, so maybe it's time for me to reread it. But I just really love this visual, and this is the first volume cover of the series. And then I also got a whole bunch of bookmarks. So I got the ORV bookmark here. Very cool. And then the rest are kind of like books related to some of our favorite K-pop boy groups. So first we have is the Star Seekers, which includes the members of Tomorrow by Together. And then we have the Seven Fates, I believe it's called Choco, which includes the BTS members. And I actually have the book for this particular series. It is massive, like this thick. It's also a novel, and it has tons of images of the BTS members throughout the whole book, which is pretty cool. I haven't read it yet, but I plan on checking out and reading through the book. I just feel like it's gonna take me some time to get through it. And then the last bookmark I have here is Dark Moon, The Blood Altar, which features the Enhypen members. So yeah, those are my K-pop related bookmarks, and I believe all of these freebies here are related to Ice Press this time around. I love stopping by the Yen Press / Ice Press booth because they have the cutest small freebies that you can always take home. I also stopped by the Viz Media booth because I heard that they were passing out a ton of cool posters, including one that I was most definitely eyeing out, and thankfully I was successful at getting it because I got the Nana poster right here. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so happy to have this poster. This illustration is based on the Nana and Vivienne Westwood collaboration, and this illustration is the Books A Million limited edition volume 1 cover as well. But I really love this poster because one, it's blown up the illustration, so it's much bigger, and two, I can actually hang this on my wall, so I am very happy to have it. And I most definitely will be displaying this in my room. So I'm glad to have this poster. And I also picked up the Kingdom poster as well. It's actually double-sided, so this is one of the illustrations you can display, as well as this one, which I thought was really cool. I actually haven't read Kingdom yet, so I will have to check out the series very soon. And then I also picked up this One Punch Man poster. I actually only watched the first seasons of One Punch Man. I haven't really continued it ever since, but someday I will continue the rest of the anime series, and I maybe should spend some time reading the manga as well, so we shall see. But yeah, I also picked up the poster for that series. And last but not least, speaking about Kingdom, I also got the manga sampler for Kingdom, so I guess I will just read through this and see how it goes and whether or not I will continue reading Kingdom or not. But yeah, that was very cool. So anyways, that is everything that I got at the Viz Media booth, and I'm so happy to have these posters as well as the Kingdom manga sampler. I also spent a significant amount of time at the Webtoons booth, mainly to wait in line for the free autograph session, but I also was there because they had a lot of fun activities, including photo ops, and then they had a claw machine game where you can win free prizes as well. But while I was at the Webtoons booth, they were passing out these items left and right, and the item in question is free manhwa volumes. So they had two series. It was this one as well as Tower of God, and I believe that one was more of a collection of short extra chapters, but I got the viral hit one, and this is volume 1 of the series. Now, I personally have not read this series yet, but I have seen it flowing around on the Webtoons app. So now that I have the first volume in my hand, I will spend some time, maybe this upcoming holiday break, and checking it out. And if I like the series, I can always read the digital chapters on the Webtoons app. So yeah, very generous of Webtoons to pass out these manhwa volumes, because as a collector, I know manhwa volumes are not that cheap at all. But yeah, that was so cool of Webtoons to do that. And the last freebie item that I got to wrap up this segment here is this trading card here from the series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I'm not too familiar with the trading card scene, but they were passing this out for free, and my friend mentioned that it would be a cool memento to keep for my first New York Comic Con visits. I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was a kid, the cartoon version, and I really enjoyed it. And I like that this trading card has an illustration of all 4 turtles, and it's also holographic, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm very happy to have my first trading card for this series. And that is all of the freebies that I got at New York Comic Con. I am very happy with everything that I got for free. Usually when I'm traveling to another convention, I have to be very selective with the items I bring back home because I have limited luggage space. And so I really treasure all of the freebies that I got at my first New York Comic Con visits. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy checking out the little vlog portion that I attempted to film, as well as the haul portion of this video. This trip to NYC was probably one of the most last minute and impulsive decisions I have ever made, but it was also one of the most memorable trips from this year. I had an incredible time visiting Kodansha House and attending New York Comic Con for the very first time. It was just an amazing experience overall. And to give you guys some context, I actually traveled to NYC for the very first time a couple months ago for Anime NYC. So to think that I would return back to New York City a couple months later was just pretty insane for me. But again, I do not regret going back to New York City to attend both of those locations because it was just so fun. I met my favorite mangaka, I met so many wonderful artists, and I encountered so many wonderful people while waiting in line. It was just a very fun time, and if I had an opportunity to do this again, I would do so in a heartbeat because it was just so fun. But yeah, going to New York Comic Con actually marks my final convention for 2025. I actually attended 6 conventions for this year, which is pretty insane. So this is like a record for me. I went to SoccerCon earlier this year, then Animazement, Anime Expo, Anime Revolution, Anime NYC, and then ended off with New York Comic Con. And each of the convention I went to was just a fantastic time for me. And so I don't know how next year will look like heading into 2026, but I have some time right now from November to the next April to kind of see what I want to do for the upcoming year. I do have plans on more like international travel next year, so I'll probably hold back on attending as many conventions as I did for this year, but I did really love going to each of the conventions I went to this year, so it's going to be a very hard decision. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. So until then, take care. Bye!